František Vízner as I knew him. I rang the doorbell of the Vízner house in Strnad Sazavu for the first time. At the end of November 2008, my colleague and friend Marcus Newhall had visited him a year before, when he was working on his book about pressed glass, Sklo Union, and promised that, when he finished the book, he would personally hand it over to Mr. Vízner, and he kept his promise. It was the first time I heard František oft repeated, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," and call if anything, the formula Mr. Vízner always used to see visitors off. I later became convinced that with Mr. Vízner it was not just a courtesy phrase, but that he simply wanted it that way. Then I called and visited Str for a couple of months and called again, and throughout the spring of 2009 we worked intensively with Mr. Vízner to compile an overview of his designs for pressed and Shkrlovis glass. Mr. Vízner had a badly strained shoulder and was unable to go to the workshop, which was an unimaginable punishment and torture for him. Because he was a man who needed a job to live, he found some distraction in digging into his own past, and I began to get to know this great man better at our work meetings. Mr. Vízner had already developed a solid story of his life during his years at the top of the Czech glass industry. He had already given so many interviews, and had been filmed for so many reports, that it seemed that he had actually said it all, and somewhere someone had written it all, and probably will write it many more times. I was very fortunate that during our debates, especially on our travels, I heard some things, off the record, here and there, and so I have the mosaic of František Vízner's life story a little more varied. But today I am not yet able to tell you everything. I have a feeling that if I didn't want to stay on the surface, I would have to write a multi-volume work on the scale of all the volumes of the Three Musketeers, and I still wouldn't be able to fit everything in. Nevertheless, I will say only a few things about Mr. Vízner that you may not know, or you do know, but it is worth remembering anyway. Mr. Vízner was immensely diligent and hardworking. In comparing his performance with ours, every last one of us looks like a slacker. He also often said of others, talented, but terribly lazy, or, she's got it in there somewhere, but she's too lazy to look. Mr. Vízner didn't like comfortable people. He didn't know holidays. He didn't go to the sea, mountains or forests. He lived in the middle of the highlands in beautiful surroundings. But nature was not what fulfilled him. He said, in the forest, well, mushrooming might make sense, but walking, why? Mr. Vízner was precise, stubborn and a perfectionist. He didn't discount his ideas. He wanted everything to be perfect, from publications to exhibitions, not to mention glass. Everything had to be made the way he wanted it, without compromise. We can all see in his art that this attitude in life led to results and success. Mr. Vízner was conservative in a good way. He said, "I hate the word experiment." He annoyed his artistic colleagues by saying, in mild exaggeration, that the most perfect shape is a sphere anyway, so what do you want to keep inventing? Mr. Vízner loved order, purity and symmetry, just perfection. Mr. Vízner was very modest and friendly. Every artist and glassmaker I met always said to me, "When you see Mr. Vízner, please say hello." I met him then and there, and he helped me a lot. Although a star of the first magnitude himself, Mr. Vízner had no star manners, and helped selflessly, and in a friendly way. Mr. Vízner was trusting and generous. Where he could, he helped. He lent money that was never repaid, and debts were denied. Going to lunch with Mr. Vízner meant not getting a chance to pay, whether it was lunch for 2 or a treat for 10. His trust and generosity were abused by some scoundrels, and as I believe in the balance of nature and life, I am sure that the punishment for this will not pass them by, and their mischief will not bring them happiness. I could go on like this, but the heaviness is beginning to weigh on me again. Mr. Vízner did not pass away suddenly and unexpectedly. His illness had tormented him for a year and a half. Nevertheless, we all believed that it must turn out well. Mr. Vízner was full of ideas in his head about what he wanted to do, and even the mold for his last piece of glass is already made and ready in the Vízner's attic. We were preparing an article, planning an exhibition in Munich, and Mr. Vízner simply left us in the middle of the work. He was a hard-working and diligent man.